Hi, and welcome to Learn with Sawgrass, the Wednesday edition. Generally, we are here at 10 a.m. Eastern every Wednesday morning and every Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern to tell you all the things Sawgrass. So we're going to go over the printers, we're going to go over the inks, we're going to talk about our software, hopefully give you some inspiration, and then we also are going to hopefully give you some tips for selling with Sawgrass. And so I am Rhonda, the education manager here. I am joined behind the scenes by Rhodes. So if you do have any questions, if you do have any comments, please feel free to put those in the chat and he'll answer them. I'll pester him ever so often to see if there's anything that I can assist with. So we are joining you late today, so I do apologize for anyone who tried to join us live earlier. I do apologize for the late start, but I will tell you that we live in a city with a very unique distinction. There are many, many cities throughout the world that can say that the city would shut down if there were a flake of snow. There are a much smaller pool of cities that can say that if the temperatures drop below freezing, the town shuts down. And that's kind of where we are. Where we are located, where our offices are located, we are basically, unless you live right here in the town, everyone else has to travel by a bridge to get here. There are multiple bridges. One of the most major bridges is shut down today because of ice overnight. There is another bridge that is shut down because of ice overnight, meaning that every single car coming here has to go over one bridge. And there were multiple wrecks on that one bridge. So I apologize. It's taken me about 3 hours to get to work today. And if there were no traffic, that's a 30-minute drive, just to kind of state. So here I am, we're ready to start, and we have some great projects for you. So I'm really glad we made it, and we're ready to go. So today we're talking about gifts for your heroes. So there's so many different people that you do gifts for, whether that's teachers, whether that's coaches, whether that's private teachers for specific sports or specific instruments, music, any of those things. And then of course you have your hairdressers, you have your dog walkers, and then those people that we always need to say thank you to, our police, our firemen, our military as well. And so there are just so many people that you may be thinking about this holiday season or wanting to add things to your store to sell to them. So we're going to look at some of those today. And I'm not personalizing a whole lot today, but we will talk about some ways that you could personalize those gifts. So when I started thinking about this, I started thinking about what these types of people need. So I immediately started thinking about the teachers who are on car line duty, and everywhere's a little cold right now, so I started thinking about things that would be very handy to them. I believe, and you've seen me with it a million times, I believe in the power of a water bottle. I really don't care what your profession is. I think everyone in the world should be walking around with a reusable water bottle, not only from the environmental standpoint, but you all need to drink more water. That's typically, every coworker I have gets told that. Have you drank enough water today? My daughter gets told that as well. So water bottles are really huge. We do have a 20-ounce skinny tumbler here too. These are also a great drinkware gift. Whether we're talking teachers, whether we're talking hairdressers, those are a great gift as well. The two we're going to make today are actually this. So I do have a hat and I do have my hat press. So we are going to do that. And then this is what I found. So this is a fleece scarf. This is technically a polyester fleece scarf. So you actually could use this with the Sublegend ink set as well. I'm going to do it with the VersaFlex. I just think I'm going to get the best look using the VersaFlex light paper with my VersaFlex ink. And we will do this. So we are going to do our, and the hat is cotton, by the way. So it's a cotton hat. We are going to do our scarf, and we'll go ahead and jump in. So I do want to show you a specific category of artwork in the My Sawgrass design tool. Just as a reminder, that design tool is free to anyone using Sawgrass. In addition to that separate piece of software, the Sawgrass print utility. Everyone uses the Sawgrass print utility. Do not try to go around the Sawgrass print utility. It's very important. It does have all the profiles and everything you need to give you the best and most consistent output on a Sawgrass printer. The Sawgrass, the My Sawgrass design tool, you don't have to use. You may have somewhere else that you are designing, or you could be just purchasing your artwork. So it may not be as much of a need to do that. But for a lot of people who either don't have software that they use, or they or that they're already using, or that they're someone who likes to use those templates so that you're getting the correct size and shape for your output, the design tool is a great place to be. So we're going to go ahead and jump in there. Can you go to my desk and get a ruler? Because I took it off the wall and took it from my desk to measure things, and then I was late this morning. So we're going to grab a ruler while I show you some artwork. All right. All right, so we are going to sign into the design tool. Thank you so much. All right. And we're going to get going. Now for both of these projects, I am going to use a custom canvas. We are going to go ahead and start with a scarf. I think you're going to see the design I'm going to do. I'm going to do it on an end. I would probably, when I go to give this to them, I would do it on both ends. But we'll do it on one for now, just so we can kind of see that. I'm going to say my design area, about 7 inches. So if I did a 7-inch square, that's going to work well for this. All right. And we're going to go ahead and jump in. Now, I did want to show you, like I said, in the designs, if you use my favorite function, which is the filter, there is a category called thank you. This is really great. So especially if you're making a 10 or anything that you're putting this on, actually, and I'm going to show you a couple of pieces here. But I don't know if you saw, I made some wooden boxes a few weeks ago. These thank you messages that I'm going to pull up in a second would be great for that. So this is actually what I would use for that water bottle or for that skinny tumbler to give to a teacher. I love this. It looks just like a pencil. It's a full wrap. And then you would just change the name to the teacher's name. So that's always been one of my favorites. But like I said, if you wanted to make that box, this artwork for any volunteer, whether it be at a school, whether it be at a church, wherever it may be, this artwork works really great for that. So this would be great to put on that wooden box with the VersaFlex light paper. Would be really, really adorable. And I'm going to make one and put on our desk just so we have it for next week, because I really love that. We also, in the same thank you category, we do have this, and it's World's Best. This is great for any tumblers that you may want to do, mugs as well, and then you can just change this. World's Best Teacher, World's Best Dog Walker, World's Best Barber, hair specialist, whatever it may be, this would be great for that artwork. Right. So there are some great designs. Now those, many of those are going to have that diamond icon, meaning that they do fall into that My Sawgrass Plus subscription, which is $12.95 per month right now. So it's a great time to get that. You see ornaments in here. Ornaments is a great one. This was one of the ones that I was thinking would also look great on that box. Just delete that background. Maybe change the colors, and that would just be really excellent. So we do have some really great artwork that you can use for any of these, which is so cool. And just throw those on there, and they just are really great. This is another one that would look wonderful on a box. You also could do so many different things with this. So this would be a great one to have. All right, so I'm pretty sure that the design I want is actually going to be in the pet category. So we're going to go down to pets. Rhodes, any comments or questions so far?
No, we are caught up on everything so far.
Awesome. Okay, so I found this design and I really love it. In our pet. Now here's the thing. I have no clue what that says. I had someone translate it for me yesterday. It's very nice, but we're going to change this. You can do this anytime. Change it to something else that's appropriate. If you see artwork that you love, feel free to change that wording. And we are going to go in a new direction with this because, all right. I'm going to change this font and we'll be ready to go. We're just going to change it to anything for now and then we'll fix it. All right, so I am going to go into my font style. I'm going to use this filter. And I specifically on this want to use something that's handwritten. You know, one of my big tips is to go through the fonts, find the ones that you like, have your favorite font, your favorite script, your favorite handwritten font, your favorite serif, your favorite sans serif, and just favorite them. So you have your own little font book. Makes it a little easier to find those. They're going to be right there under favorite. I actually think this will be perfect with this particular. Make sure there's nothing that's a little darker. Yeah, there we go. I really like that one. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Okay, now we can go different directions with the color. We don't have to keep this black. If I were to click on this artwork, it's actually not going to let me change the color, so we will stay with black. I'll leave this black as well. But as you see, I could go in here and change the color if I wanted to. And we're just going to go ahead and print that. And then we will go ahead and get the press set up. Okay. So we're going to get that sent over. Perfect. All right. So while that is thinking, we will go ahead and set up our press. Nope, we're good. All right.
I did that so they could see the hat press when you used it.
I'll move it back when we get ready to use it. All right, I think this is, I'm gonna have to change the pressure on this a little bit. Okay. All right. Yep. Nice high pressure, exactly what I need. I'm not going to pre-press that for very long. There we go. And my handle is sticking. Give me 1 second. Okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect. Okay. We'll go ahead and send that over. Okay, we're going to choose our right printer. I do not need to adjust for light colors because this is black. We're going to change this. We're going to change this to natural fabrics. Anytime I'm not using cotton, I tend to choose that, even though I know fleece isn't a natural fabric. And everything else is set, so we will go ahead and hit print. All right. Okay, we're going to trim that down just to make it a little easier to position. Alrighty, here comes our design. Now that we are using our VersaFlex light paper on this, it is going to come out wet. We do want to get it on there relatively quickly, but there's no huge rush here. It would take about 12 minutes for it to dry, so we are perfectly good. You notice I love designs like this where we have plenty of room that I can easily hold that. All right. I'm going to center this up in my area and go ahead and drop it. Okay. 30 seconds. So it is $3.75 for 30 seconds. We'll go ahead and press that and let you take a look. All right. Okay, it is going to be that hot peel, so we'll go ahead and peel that off. Oh my gosh. Now what I will do is I will do a post press on this, just so it kind of matches the fibers around it. I'll just get some blowout paper so I don't get any ink that may come off on my press. Like I said, I would probably put this on both sides. But take a look at that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that adorable? What a great gift for a dog walker.
Denise said in the comments that she's a dog lover, a dog mom, so.
Yeah, this is great
news.
for dog moms. Yeah, it's so perfect. And I love it. Great little scarf for going out on those cold days that we have right now. Any other questions or comments, Rhodes?
No, we're caught up with everything right now.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and check the pressure on this while I am standing. Now, if you haven't done a hat before or done a hat press before, the hat's gonna fit right on top, and then you're gonna use this to pull it down and pull it tight. So that's how you pull that hat tight in the press. I'm just gonna check it to make sure that closes well. Ooh, that pressure's a little high. Okay. We're gonna go up just a little. There, much better. All right, we are all set. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure my area. I think I could safely go about 4 inches wide. And probably, I'm gonna say 2.5 tall would be safe. So 2.5 by 4. All right. There we go. All right. I'm actually going to save this. Now, again, if you wanted to personalize this, it'd be very easy to put someone's name above it. So it'd be very easy just to add a name to this. If you didn't want to do it generic, you could add that in quite easily. You could even put someone or a pet's name in with the flowers. Would be really, really cool. And that's probably what I would do, is just add a little pet name in the flowers, in the paw. I think would be a great touch. But I do want to save that. And I'm just going to hit save on that so I have it for later. All right. I'm going to watch my little progress bar as that finishes. And we're going to go back in and design again. Now I'm going to use custom canvas, just the easiest way to make sure I'm getting the exact size I need. Okay. Now in our shapes, we have, this is, by the way, a hat for a police officer. You could do the same type of design, whether, well, we were saying what the words I'm going to use would work for pretty much ambulance driver or police officer here in the U.S. So I'm going to go into our shapes, and in our shapes, one of our premium shapes, that My Sawgrass Plus shape, is this police badge. We're just going to put that there in the middle. Okay, and then I'm actually going to change the color of this. I'm just going to go with a nice navy blue. If you don't know, the easiest way to find a color is just to Google hex code for navy blue. I often use this method where I just go in and pick a color that's going to be close. And that's going to work great for this. And then just make sure you're hitting those done buttons so your changes save. And I'm actually going to go back out and add some text. Okay. We're going to change that to white so you can see it. I happen to know the hex code. FF, FF, FF. Never forget that one. I'm going to go with a nice serif font here. So that's one with the feet. I'm going to pick a favorite. Rhodes, any other comments or questions?
No, Laura says she might need to get a dog.
Just so she can spend more money and buy more things, I guess.
Yeah.
It's actually a good one. All right. Now this is a good one. I'm going to capitalize drive because that's going to drive me crazy if I don't. Okay. Of course, you don't have to do this in a badge. You could use a police car shape on this. If the police department has specific colors, we talk about this with customization all the time. Use the colors for the specific town or the colors used in the police car work well. And then also you could put underneath this quite easily Officer Johnson. You also could put officer on one side and Johnson on the other. So that works really great. So there's so many different ways you could do this to make this a little more personal. But I did think this was funny, so I thought that would be a good one to use. All right, we're just going to wait and send that over. But, you know, as we talk about gifts for the heroes in your life, whether you're doing something special for a dog walker, whether it's for the person who does your hair, or whatever it may be, teachers' gifts are huge as well. I love drinkware for this. Next week, I believe the Tuesday workshop is all around holiday drinkware. I'm really, really excited. So we're going to make some fun mugs and tumblers and everything next Tuesday. So I'm really excited about that. And then, you know, I feel like I've been getting crafty the last few weeks. If you didn't see my ornament yesterday, it's one of my favorite things. But we will be doing some crafting next Wednesday. So hopefully I'm going to make a wreath. I think that's kind of where the goal lies on that, but we'll see how that turns out. Okay, I'm going to make sure my printer is chosen correctly. Let me get that selected. I'm going to go ahead and I will leave that on just to be safe. This is a cotton hat, so everything's set and ready to go. We'll get our hat ready. And then again, I'm going to cut that paper down. Just makes life a little easier if it is a little bit smaller. So I'm not 100% where I threw my scissors. Just makes it easier to position as well. And just making sure that you're keeping the sides pretty even makes your life easier at the end of the day. Perfect. All right, same settings, 375 for 30 seconds. We're gonna get this on here. I like to get the front part of the hat off of that bill completely over. And I think we're good with this design. I do generally hold the tension on this until I close the press. I think if I sit that right there, it's going to be perfect. We'll go ahead and press that. Perfect. I think we have that good and covered and lined up. All right. I've also seen this design used for spouses of police officers. My husband drives, and you know, you could be my wife drives too. All right. Oh, it folded on me a little bit. It was a new hat that I used, but you can kind of see how that would look. And that's just, I need to pull that a little bit tighter than it was so that doesn't fold. But I really love it anyway. Yeah. So there's my hat. And you saw our lovely scarf. So I hope I gave you some inspiration today. Rose, are there any other questions or comments?
No, we are all done.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for joining us late today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And hopefully it'll be a little warmer in the Charleston area tomorrow. And everybody makes it to work on time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.